The Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer shown at the D23 event in Anaheim was the biggest one we got so far, everything from Toy Story's world reveal to the release year of 2018. So that's why I've decided to split up my analysis into two parts. One detailing the Hercules excerpt shown at the start of it, and the other detailing the Toy Story portion. Let's begin. The trailer begins with the first-person perspective of Sora walking out from under the bed in Andy's room in the Toy Story world and looking up at everything. Sora wonders where they are and realizes that Donald, Goofy, and he are much smaller than normal, and their appearances have changed. They are now the appearance of action figures made of plastic blocks with several joints. Donald explains this to protect the world order. If you remember, in previous Kingdom Hearts games, Donald would use his magic to change the appearance of Sora, Goofy, and himself in some worlds to make them fit better and not disrupt the world order. The music changes to the 2.5 version of working together as they detect some Heartless, summon their weapons, and run after them. The Heartless are new, resembling action figures and seem to have glasses, jetpacks, and blasters. In addition, the Keyblade Sora summons has a new fitted keychain. He has changed the appearance of the Keyblade to look like a cactus with a cowboy hat and a handkerchief on it, as well as a bow wrapped around it with a sheriff's badge for the left teeth, obviously to represent Woody. The grip has a Buzz Lightyear theme with little wings. The actual keychain itself is a little one of the green aliens, connected with the Keyblade with a claw in reference to the claw machine the green aliens come from in Pizza Planet. Then it switches to the gameplay of Sora, Donald, and Goofy fighting these Heartless. Sora starts a combo, and unusually fast, he obtains a situation command. Maybe the stronger you are, the easier you get situation commands in Kingdom Hearts 3, as Sora's stats suggest he is near max level. However, in 0.2, when you are relatively high leveled, Aqua's commands still come later than what was shown here. All I'm hoping is that Sora doesn't become too overpowered and his commands aren't available all the time. This also may just be for show, so then they could show all the flashy stuff in the trailers easier. If we pause here, we could spot the toy Heartless actually on top of Andy's bed, meaning you will likely be able to explore the entirety of Andy's room and furniture without many invisible walls to impede your progress. He uses flow motion to grind on the trail left behind by his Blizzard spell and performs a dive attack that appears to be a new version of the shock dive move from flow motion and Dream Shock Distance. Noticeably, however, the shockwave that emitted from the dive in 3D is absent. This could be both a good and a bad thing. Good because this naturally makes it less powerful, as 3D was criticized for overpowered flow motion attacks that had essentially no cost. However, the absence of the shockwave could nullify some of its usefulness. But at least some of the cost problem has been resolved if you could only activate this move on Blizzard rails, but I can't be sure that the same could be said of other possible flow motion attacks that might be added into the game. Sora performs a rather slow finisher first shown in the Japanese orchestra trailer, but I guess it's fine if we have good combo modifiers. Then it shows a scene where Sora, Donald, and Goofy hear a voice, and Woody, Buzz Lightyear, Ham, and Rex come out and ask if they are Andy's new toys. In interviews, Nomura said that in this scene, Rex confuses the trio for different toys. Rex, have you been watching anime recently? They discussed the Heartless and had materialized after their friends have disappeared. Toy soldiers and green aliens from Toy Story can be seen on the scene now as well. Buzz explained that after the others, presumably toys like Bo Peep, Slinky, Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, Jessie, and others, disappeared, as well as Andy, the intruders did not come alone. They came with a guy wearing a hood and dressed in black, just like Sora. Sora, Donald, and Goofy conclude that they must be talking about Organization 13. Sora says he has a hunch of what's causing this, and asks if they would be okay if they handle this. Woody refuses and says that he and the other toys need to help because they are his friends, so it's his problem as well. He says they have to work together, and Sora and he come to shake hands. Sora asks where they could find them, and Woody asks Sarge about it. Sarge says the latest recognition reports puts him in Galaxy Toys, which seems to be a toy store in town. Woody tells Sora and the gang to follow him through the window to the ceiling. It transitions to the gameplay once more. Sora runs on the roof of Andy's house. Donald, Goofy, Woody, and Buzz are all at the party at the same time. The yellow Opera Heartless are shown again, as well as the similar looking pink Heartless. They're also shown in the Jump Festa 2016 trailer. Sora jumps off of the roof, performs an OK air combo, and glides down to hit the enemies on the ground. This is the same thing we saw in the Olympus Coliseum in the Orchestra trailer. We are now on the lawn of Andy's house. The area seems massive, but I doubt you'll be able to go into other lawns, and instead it'll just load you when you reach the end of Andy's lawn all the way to the parking lot of Galaxy Toys. Big bodies and the new Heartless seen earlier in Andy's room are on the driveway and in the front lawn of Andy's house. Sora then activates the Hyper Hammer situation command where his clothes change red, presumably the power form drive form we saw in a screenshot that was released some time ago but in his Toy Story form, and the Toy Story Keyblade then transforms into a great hammer that Sora uses to crush the ground and enemies with. This hammer was also seen in the screenshot but was blurred in order not to spoil the Toy Story world. He also casts a fire spell that acts differently while using Hyper Hammer, reinforcing the notion that transformations have different kinds of spells like Dry Forms did. It acts more of like an area of effect rather than the regular fire spell that targets an enemy. Then Sora uses the hammer to crush the ground with much more impact than the previous ones. You could also get a glimpse of a pink trampoline next to the house that might perhaps allow you to bounce easily up to the roof of the house. Each of the hammer smashes creates a cracked effect on the ground, similarly to how spells create a temporary effect on the area. Sora also performs both a dodge roll and a quick run, confirming their presence in the game. Sora then activates the Drill Punch status command. The Hyper Hammer transforms into a great drill that Sora uses to hit enemies with and dig into the ground with. So this transformation is another one with two phases. He actually drills under a large body and attacks it from below, even though in normal attacks that area should be invincible. His dodge roll in this transformation seems to be drilling underground, so perhaps some transformations will change your growth abilities. He has to drill on the ground and several other drills emerge off the ground afterwards, which must be a finisher of sorts. I'm not sure how effective this drill is against flying or fast enemies, as it's ground-based and rather slow, but fortunately you are given the option to not activate this next phase of transformation. You can just wait until time runs out on the hammer. Then he casts an arrow spell and then flow motions through the air of the spell with the drill, which is just plain epic. The drill is transformed into a claw attached to a long, shiny rope that Sora uses to grab a large body and swing and slam it around as its finisher. In the Japanese trailer, we actually see Woody and Buzz more in action, with Woody punching Heartless and Buzz fighting by spinning around. Okay. The trailer changes to the gameplay of Sora, Donald, Goofy, Woody, and Buzz inside Galaxy Toys, running towards several mechs called Gigas and the new Heartless. The song changes to the Kingdom Hearts Orchestra World Tour version of Wave of Darkness. They begin to fight against the Gigas and Heartless, and Sora enters one of the Gigas and begins to control it, the red one specifically. The HUD changes and now you have the options Tackle, Blaster, Punch, Booster, Danger, Dash, and Eject, which will probably have button prompts in the future. There are also transparent markers and radars around the screen to give the illusion of being in a mech suit. Sora uses the mech to fire blasts, hit, and push other Gigas and Heartless. Then he jumps and rushes towards another mech to enter it. The situation command Rides appears and Sora jumps into one of the other Gigas. Instead of Tackle, this mech, the blue one, seems to have the Exploder command. Jump and use that command and several explosions shoot and fall to the ground. Sora jumps off that mech, dives down, and hits the ground onto a mech. Sora uses a combo of fire and nearly falls off the platform he's on, so I don't know if that's just the player or the string of fire sent him off like that, the latter of which would be pretty bad. He again enters another mech, the purple one this time, and instead of Tackle or Exploder, this mech has a command called Cannon, so each mech has a special attack that needs to be recharged once used. He then uses Cannon and fires two large cannon explosions on his shoulders. During this battle, you can see one of the toy display stands being destroyed and knocked down when Sora shoots some explosions, confirming destructible environments in the game. Finally, it transitions into a scene where young Xehanort is shown talking to Sora. He explains how the shadows of one heart fill the emptiness of another, and that like Heartless and Nobodies, they fit. Sora rejects what young Xehanort said and asks why he is doing this. Young Xehanort explains that there is a darkness that is missing that they must reclaim, and the way hearts connect in that world could provide a clue. Well, what I think this means is that one of two things. Either young Xehanort is talking about Sora and Vanitas or Sora and Roxas, because of the quote, "One's heart's shadow fills the emptiness of another." So far, I'm leaning towards the latter because in recent interviews with Nomura, he said Sora wonders that if Xehanort's Heartless and Nobody could coexist, perhaps so could Roxas and he. This justifies why young Xehanort also says, like Heartless and Nobodies, they fit together, referring to Ansem and Xemnas. As for the clue this world provides, I'm not certain. The Kingdom Hearts 3 logo flashes on, and the game is confirmed to release in 2018. Judging from previous trailers, I believe Kingdom Hearts 3 will release December 2018 worldwide, as in the same day in December 2018 worldwide. Not only is that a holiday season, which is perfect for sales, but that would also make it exactly 13 years after the release of Kingdom Hearts 2 in Japan, and you know why that's perfect. Some of you may think it will release sooner, but according to Square's trends in announcing releases, I think December is most possible and probable. Anyway, I think this is the best Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer so far, and I honestly can't wait until the D23 Japan Expo in February 2018, as I think that'll kind of be like an uncovered event for Kingdom Hearts 3, like what was done for Final Fantasy 15. So like to share your appreciation, comment, share your thoughts, share your favorite, and subscribe for some more NDC, and I will see you guys next time.